got my two GoPros going, one in the cab here with me, or in the cab, one in the front of my car with me here. I'm leaving out from Coxes Creek Free Will Baptist Church, getting ready to head home. I've shot a bunch of video up in the mountains. I have the GoPro Hero3 Black Edition on top of my, or actually on the top of my windshield. And so I'm going to take you back through Marion, North Carolina. Just thought I'd document this, see how long the battery. I've got a Smotree battery, a third-party battery in the GoPro that's up here on my outside of my windshield. And then I'm just using a 24 frame per second video for in here with this, one of my old standard GoPro Hero3 Blacks. So I'm shooting it 1080p 48 or 24 frames per second in medium field of view. That might have been a mistake. Maybe I should have gone to wide field of view. Might change that in a minute. I might not be so much in the frame. You might just be seeing a whole lot of the back seat. Of course, this camera here does not point directly at me either. It kind of points out to an angle. Kind of more. I actually put this camera in here so I could record interviews with folks as I ride down the road. Plus, if you turn it around and go the other way, you can shoot through your windshield. So, put my window up here. It's kind of hot down in the valley. It's been really nice and cool this morning up in the mountains. So I am currently on, I guess, 226 is what this is called. And we're going to come out kind of a 226, 221 crossroads down here in a few minutes. I'm going to head back to the right. I'm going to go toward Marion, North Carolina. And then headed, of course, hopefully all the way to my house. I like to shoot in the 48 frame per second mode. That's what I have the camera that's on the outside shooting. It's a kind of a good compromise between getting a lot of data in each frame, you know, which makes for a better quality image. It's a good compromise between that and getting high speed so you don't get too much motion blur. So I really like 48 a lot. I've told some people before it does not work real well under a lot of fluorescent lights. 48 frames per second can cause a real kind of strange flutter. I don't know if it cycles the same way maybe the refresh is on some fluorescent lights. So I don't use the inside, but outside it's just fantastic. Or under incandescent light, it does a great job. So I'm going to go pretty quick clip. I'm running a little behind. It's about 10:52 in the morning on October the 5th, 2013. And the leaves have not quite turned up in the mountains, though a lot of them have fallen. So it was pretty up there this morning. I'm posting some of that video, but it wasn't just gorgeous. That's maybe about 2 weeks away. Down in the valley where I live, it's often it's first or second week in November before you really get beautiful leaves. So it's kind of different depending on what your altitude is around here. I've done this drive before using the GoPro Hero3 on the outside, and it's not really, I wouldn't say this is just an absolutely gorgeous drive. It's the drive that you have to take if you're coming from the high Appalachian Highlands where I'm from and get back down into the valley. So we're going through a little area down here in a minute. It's kind of called the Woodlawn area. You'll see all these rocks and stuff out here to the right. People sell rocks all along this road. This is one of the rock sellingest roads. So there's a lot of building stone that's just mined out of the hills here, and apparently it's real easy to get to. I don't know how hard it is to work it. I bet it's hard to work the rocks. That people are chunking them up and, you know, selling them, and it's not too expensive. You can get pretty good deals on you know, building stone and stuff. Your stone that you can use to face your house with, or you know, put over. I'm going to buy some eventually and try to lay it on my sidewalk at the house. I stopped and priced like a ton of them or something, and it was not that bad really, like 80 or 90 bucks. Beautiful building stone too. I'm not going to try to talk the whole way, but I will talk some to keep this video from being boring. So this little stretch of road here, it connects Marion with what you call the foot of the mountain. Now, if you go back the other way, you'll end up eventually in Linville, up in Avery County, and it really does get quite beautiful there. Looks like they've resurfaced this road, which has been a long time coming. you know, or at least this one side of it. This road's needed that for quite a long while, so excellent. Good job, McDowell County folks, for doing that. So this is McDowell County. I just came from Mitchell County. That's where I was raised. Going about 60 miles an hour right now. I don't want to break the speed limit much, but you know, the GoPro Hero 3 mounts, I'll talk a little bit about those. It's just a plastic mount, and the camera's just a small camera, of course. But I've driven at speeds up to 75 miles an hour with the GoPros out there. Just those little pieces of plastic holding them on there, and they hold just firm, you know, solid as a rock. So, of course, they're built that way, of course, so you can take them with motorcycles, and you know, you've seen the video footage where they're done on airplanes. I'm sure they're going maybe 100+ miles an hour, definitely for sure, on some of the aircraft. On the GoPro website, they have videos that show, you know, examples of that. And there is one of the many churches. This is Baptist country down here, folks. There's a lot of different denominations, but you'll see mostly Baptist churches. There's New Horizon Baptist Fellowship. So I got my Hero 3 Plus yesterday, and I'll tell you some of my impressions about it as we pass by another rock farm here. So far, all I've done is some night shooting, and then this morning I've shot, so I've not had a chance to look at it back in the studio. But I do really think the battery life is better. They're claiming it's maybe 20 to 30% better battery life with the new GoPro Hero 3 Plus. And I would say that's accurate. I don't know what they've done to make that happen. One of the things I thought was a little misleading on GoPro's website is they talk like the unit itself might be smaller, but I don't think that's true at all. It looks like the GoPro Hero 3, the camera, the Hero 3 Plus, is exactly the same size as the regular Hero 3. I think for sure what they must be talking about is that the housing you put it in, the plastic housing that it comes with, does seem to be lighter weight and smaller. So I need to go back and read the hype on the website and see, did I just read it wrong? Because it is not a lighter camcorder. You put the battery in there, weighs about the same size, same dimensions exactly, which is kind of a cool thing because it's a small camera anyway. But you know, you don't lose the use of all your different mounts and things you bought for it. Like right now, I have both of these camcorders in what I call, well, what's called the frame. I don't typically put mine inside the waterproof housing or all that. I think it kind of mutes the sound, and I don't like extra pieces of glass, even though it's a very good piece of glass between the lens and reality. Now, if I were going through places where there was a lot of junk in the atmosphere, you know, rain naturally, then I would want to have that extra protection on there, and I would use the case. But right now, the one that's shooting from the outside, you're getting nothing between the lens and the exterior, the air. You're getting the 100% view of what you can get from the GoPro Hero 3. You folks go back and count on how many rock selling places. There's another one on the left there. Another one on the right, unless this is part of the same outfit. Unbelievable. Looks like it's different. I don't typically go through downtown Marion when I go back. You usually ride the bypass, which is what I'm on right now. I mean, they actually cut a big hump through the hill up there far ahead of us, kind of toward where those cell towers are. But honestly, it's not a whole lot faster to ride the bypass. It actually just kind of snakes you around a very wide swath where you can just go right down through the middle of Marion. So I think I will do that. We'll just go through the little outskirts, and then I'll be in the downtown Marion here in just a second. I actually could get behind this red car and just go follow him. Let's do that. We'll get off at this point.